let's talk toilet technique.
Yes.
In terms of the toilet seat, how you sit in the toilet seat, the height of all of that. That's obviously it's crucial. Like anyone who's traveled to like Thailand or Vietnam will know the
Yes.
postural position for going to the toilet over there is that deep squat to the hole in the ground. We come this side of the world, it's the throne. Talk to me about all of that.
Yeah, it's a great point. So, absolutely. So, our Western toilets, I mean, they can vary in height, but obviously, we sit down in the toilet, we're not squatting, as you say, as they mentioned that they do in the East. And actually, what I find really interesting, if you watch children as they develop, often if they're before they're potty trained, if they're in a nappy, they will sort of go to a private place and often squat down.
Mhm.
So, as humans, we are really intuitive as to help. Now, the theory behind this sort of more squat position is related to our muscles that from the pelvic floor that actually wrap around the anus and the rectum. So they partly hold the rectum in a sort of 90-degree angle, which is part of our continence mechanism. So we don't actually poo ourselves when we don't want to. However, when we therefore want the poo to come out, we want this 90-degree angle to relax and become straighter to allow us to do a poo. And basically, generally, when we squat, it allows that pelvic floor to lengthen and it will naturally help that process. So there is some thought that actually, if we're sitting on a more Western toilet, that we need to raise our feet up. Now, yes, for some people using a stool, they're sometimes called squatty potties. Some people use books, some people use toilet rolls. There's lots of different options. You can do whatever you want, but I say that that can help some people. Obviously, it really depends on how high your toilet is, how tall you are. There's lots of different factors, and obviously, children need something different as well. I'd say actually, aside from all of that, the most important thing for us is that we can sit relaxed on the toilet. So our feet are planted, whether that's on the floor or on the stool, that we can relax our abdomen. We are relaxed and we can just kind of lean forwards, and that will also help. Again, I also encourage people to try things because for some people the stools work wonderfully and for other people they don't. And as I say, really tall guys, if they're in then putting their feet on a stool, their knees are going to be so high up it can actually be more uncomfortable. But the most thing is that you are relaxed and can basically fully sort of let your body flop and go because the way I describe it, if you're sort of tense on the toilet, or if you think about putting children on a big adult toilet and they're sort of holding on their tens, it's like us trying to go to the toilet over a well. I mean, you're not relaxed, are you? So a big part of it is just being able to relax. And yes, the toilet position is important, but there isn't sort of, I guess, a one size fits all.
And is that where breathing comes into it to make it a mindful, relaxed? Obviously, there's breathing and there's breathing to kind of push and whatever, but like to make it more mindful and relaxing for the body, that you go into a very mindful state if you are struggling.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think for some people, again, if there's a lot of anxiety that's developed around going to the toilet, sometimes just grounding yourself with a couple of breaths can be helpful. Now, I often think if you do have problems, just doing a few deep breaths is not going to be enough to heal your bowel problems, as you've mentioned, but absolutely sort of bringing yourself back to I think a lot of us can get very disconnected from our body.
Mhm.
And the breath is just a powerful and wonderful thing that we can use to sort of, as you say, ground, be more mindful. I think also just in our society today, we are very often external. By the time we may be doing a morning poo, we've already checked our emails, we're already replying to our emails, we're already mentally at work, we're already on the train, or we're wrestling children out the door, or whatever it might be. And those things can hugely interrupt our kind of natural body safety mechanism. I mean, doing a poo is quite similar to women giving birth, give or take. Definitely not quite the same thing. But it's that sort of feeling of we talk a lot around birth of needing to feel safe for the body to feel relaxed and things like that. If our body, it's a bit like when we go on holiday, people are like, oh, I just don't poo for a couple of days. I don't know what
Mm.
that's about. Now, obviously, it can be you're traveling, it's all weird times, you're eating weird, you're dehydrated from from plane travel or whatever it might be. But a lot of it is actually like you're not in your safe zone, your body's feeling a bit like this is a bit different. And there's an element of just needing to feel safe as well.
Phone in toilet or not?
Oh, great question. Look, I'm not here to be the fun police, and I think everyone has to find their way. I think definitely that kind of mention of becoming more external. I think it depends what you're doing. And I think it depends. The most important thing is actually how long we're sort of sitting. There was an interesting study that came out last year that looked at phone use and hemorrhoids. And actually, there was a link between people sitting for longer on their
Oh,
phone
okay.
and kind of more likely to have more, those sort of symptoms. So Yes, and it's something I do discuss in my clinic, people playing like chess or Sudoku on their phone. And again, they might have already pooed and they're just still sat there. Or they're actually so not connected to the fact that they need the toilet, they're just being sat there doing whatever. So I think phones can be used appropriately, and it might be a great time for you to catch up on something, but we need to make sure that it's not creating an external disconnect from the body when actually our body's desperately trying to connect with us, tell us what's going on, and we need to respond to that appropriately.
It's okay to call it a phone free zone, or that it should be a phone free zone. Don't worry, our listeners are well used to experts telling us things. So but that idea of connecting, it does
Yeah.
create a very mindful, safe kind of getting in touch with yourself kind of experience, and that's how going should be.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the funny thing is, like, phones can obviously be, other things can be as equally distracting as phones. So I think for me, the main thing is it's not necessarily phones or not phones. It's more about understanding, as you say, that wider picture of being in touch with yourself. And so anything can be distracting. I mean, I always joke that kids are probably the best distraction ever of needing to go to the toilet. Because you go to the toilet and someone shouts, "Mom" or "Dad," and you're suddenly like, oh gosh, like, okay, you have to almost ignore your needs. And a big part of doing a poo is actually just responding to your needs. And that can be hard in life, as you say, work calls, Zoom calls. Healthcare professionals, we can be some of the worst because our diary is literally booked on a half an hour, 20 minutes.
Hmm.
And if you needed a poo in that time, what are you going to do? You have to walk past your patient to go to the toilet. It's very tricky. So again, I acknowledge that responding to your body is not always 100% possible. Again, it's a balance of, if it's a problem and we're struggling with our bowels, we need to be more mindful of that. And some people will need to be more mindful of that than others.